it looks like you're tagging a mannequin. That thought of that's a person there, it didn't come to me because uh, it, there was no blood. That was the weird thing. You're seeing even severed pieces of a body, but there's no blood. And it looked like something you would buy at a Halloween store for your yard for display during Halloween. And they just said, mark some of them, mark the ones you see dead, dead. And so I marked 3 of them, and they were the only whole pieces I can find that resembled a body, other than what was all around that whole area. You, you almost were tiptoeing to prevent from stepping on what you knew was human remains there. It was incredible.
How tough was that?
I'm sorry?
How tough was that?
Really, it's you're concentrating not to step on it. Don't know what it is, but you don't want to slip on it, and you certainly don't want to fall on it. But you're just kind of moving about it near the impact zone, which there's a picture of there, that the crater, and everything just spreads from there. The pieces get bigger as they seem to get further, as either they had a lot more momentum to fly from the impact zone. It was horrifying. You can't identify anything. You just know that's not supposed to be at an air show, that's not supposed to be at an air show, but you don't even know what it is.
Love you, Daddy.
Do you think you were the youngest person there, or do you think there were some that were your age?
Looking at the pictures, I was not.
Usually youngest.
Yeah, I was the youngest. I didn't see nobody there younger than me, or even around my age. Now there was some kids that were near the blast and were covered in stuff, but really I was the only one around my age in that area. But, yeah. So, and they, my dad sees a car on fire in the road, and we're both like, oh man, you know, that guy probably needs some help, because there's just one officer by himself and the owner of the car outside, and the car's on fire, and we're like, ugh, you know, that could go off at any second. And it was packed, like Barker Cypress was jam-packed. There's people right next to the car. So he hands me a fire extinguisher. I jump out of the truck and I run back there, and I hand the fire extinguisher to the police officer, but I was in my Civil Air Patrol uniform at the time, so he sees me as military personnel. And this was long before I had any training with any sort of emergency services. I was just starting out the program, and he goes, okay, put it out. I was like, excuse me? So quickly, okay, you know, put it out real quick. So it was pretty exciting, and like I said, pretty satisfying experience afterwards, knowing that I got to help some people. And then another time, we were at home, and an elderly woman was driving her van, and she was lost. She'd blown out a tire, yet continued to drive on the van for about, I want to say, 6 miles. And the rim was dragging on the ground, and the wheel well was on fire, and I was in my room, and he comes up and goes, there's a fire. So we jumped in the truck, grabbed another fire extinguisher. I don't know where we get all these things from. And we go running over there in the car, and I jump out, and the cop, who was already there, tells us to get back. And so I just kind of, when he went looking, ran over there and put the fire out. And then the fire department shows up and shoots the van full of water just to make sure it's out. But it was another satisfying experience. So I was pretty happy.
Going back to Reno.
Luckily, I think, you know, air show at their age is probably not as exciting after a while. So there were kids in the area, but there weren't none right where that plane hit. When I had the backboard, before I'd gone to the triage zone, I was walking, and you know, it would have made the perfect picture. And I wish I would have got a picture of it, because it was almost like, it just made you realize, oh man, you know. And I was walking, and I see a bunch of chairs and stuff. There's upturned dirt and everything. It was just horrible. And in the middle, there's a toy airplane. And then that's when it hit me. I was like, I hope, you know, whoever that toy belonged to wasn't here for when this happened. Then I come around to the triage zone, and I see a kid. He must have been maybe 9 years old. He's covered head to toe in dirt and engine oil, and looks like some pieces of people. and he's just kind of like got that thousand mile gaze on him, and he starts shaking and pulls out a cell phone and dials. And I just like, dang, I just kept on going because he's in the green zone. People already taking care of him. But I was just like, wow, you know, this hit home pretty good. So, but as for seeing any young kids deceased, I didn't. And I hope nothing comes up that someone did, because that's way too young and not a good way to go for them.